This is a tall white race. This is another very common race. Charles Hall, he's the guy who worked with these, this breed. This is where they hang out in an area. It's so secluded that you can never find them. This is how he says they look like. This is what the government says they look like. Yeah. So this is a very tall white. That's very close. There's a model. This race here is really interesting because they're a very, very, very secretive race. And they're also the men in black. But
how tall are the talls?
Tall whites? They range anywhere from 6 to 8 feet, 9 feet in height. Right? They have bases in the moon. What the government says the tall whites look like. I mean, they got a beak, they got a long neck, they're really tall. Okay, so Charles Hall, he's the guy who talks about the tall whites, wrote books about them. He worked with them in the base. This is what secret government says they look like. Okay, they were created by the draconian race as a superior servant. They abducted a group of Nordics and a group of Greys and combined them to form the tall white race. The draconian reptilian genetics added were applicable. Okay, reproduction. The Nordic types contain both parts, female and male genitalia, and are androgynous or hermaphrodites. These are the Nordic race. And they may be able to produce without a partner. The taller Greys have genitalia and are able to reproduce. So this race here is able to breed. They're often accompanied by children, so they're very tall, and you'll see them with a kid usually, right? There's no reports that they're a breeding race, but they are a breeding race. Okay, they're upright, two-legged, spine supported. They do not look like humans, however, they're able to present themselves to appear humans. Speech and sounds beyond the human auditory detection. Some are able to speak English, and they bark kind of whistling. They sound like animals, right? They have large blue oval white pupils slanted all the way around the back of their heads. The eyes turn pink once they start to get old. They're 6 to 10 feet in height. They appear thin and frail. They're noted with white chalky skin color, 4-digit fingers with claw endings. Okay. Claw, yeah. Then instead of a
Actual finger?
yeah, instead of they have a kind of a claw. Yeah, yeah. Their 2 legs. They're like goat-legged. They're kind of like a goat. That's how their legs are. They shuffle their feet when they maneuver. So if you're ever in Vegas and you see a tall person shuffling, they might take a closer look. Their injuries take a long time to heal. So if they get hurt, their bodies don't heal like ours. So they're very keen on not getting hurt. They're very quick and agile, 3 to 5 times our brain capacity. They're able to emit a beam of light from their eye. That's from a personal experience. Now, I know humans can communicate with their eyes and send some kind of a force, especially when 2 people like each other, right? But they're able to do it too. But the way they do it, it's kind of like Superman, a ray that comes out of Superman's eyes. They have that kind of power and authority. But that could be a technological aspect rather than a biological aspect, right? Cyborg organic robotoid capabilities. So they employ robots and organic robotoid people. Sight's as good as a cat, hearing as good as a dog. They can hear better than a human. They hear as good as a dog, right? Yeah, so their range is a lot larger than ours. They live 700 to 1,200 years of age. They die from organ failure. After 400 years, they go from 7 feet to 8.5 or 9 feet. The children look after the adults, so they're very close. They're very family-oriented race. Yeah.
I'm sorry, do they procreate, or are they created differently than the race?
Say that again? Sorry?
Different than the race in that way?
Yeah. Their souls are a lot more valuable.
Then how are they created? So you said they have families.
Yeah. I went through it in an earlier slide. There was a group of Nordics, and there was a group of tall grays. And the Draconian race came and kidnapped them and blended them together, spliced them. This breed and that breed hybrided them and created a race, a super race that could, assist their masters. Go ahead. I've never seen or heard of them being violent. Like the men in black, they're very intimidating. In my opinion, they're employed robots, or they're wearing heavy masks and makeup. Okay. Ears and noses and lips are smaller than a human. They consider themselves plant eaters. They do not eat human or cattle. They only respect military personnel. So if they were to meet you, they probably wouldn't think much of you. But if you're in the military and you're a high-ranking soldier, they'll have a bit of respect for you. They travel wearing ski wrap-around goggles. Their favorite place is Vegas. They like to hang out at amusement parks. They enjoy the things that we enjoy. They buy our clothes. They buy our glasses. They come here and they shop.
Do they steal our jobs?
No, they don't steal our jobs. I don't think so. They have. There's no need for them to. They don't need to work like we need to work.
Where do they get money?
Oh, very good question. They have a deal with the government, the military aspect, and the government gives them cars, whatever they need, and heavy escort. So when you see a tall white family wearing a disguise and they're out in Vegas, they're escorted by human men in black that are around them, right? But if you were to look at the core group, you'll notice if you can look behind their glasses that their eyes are 3 times the size of humans, right? And they're kind of a little weird. Yeah. Go ahead. Is there another question? Okay. They're very good at focusing into their chores. So when they're doing something, they could really, they're able to focus. They're a super worker, you could say. Go ahead.
Have ever been any study conducted by the human race to find out what is the approximate number of those species? How many of them are there? There's about 8 billion of us, or approximately. Is there any specific number?
I haven't come across any of that information, but they're in communication with the Chinese government. So they have a population over there.
What about the Korean government?
Not the Korean government. Not that I know of. The Russian government and the American government. So these governments would assist them in giving them a base where they could operate and maneuver without being detected by the human population and protected.
Anybody else you know have seen any one of those?
I've had an encounter, yeah.
Can you tell us about your experience?
It came into my room, and I was in a field, Remember we discussed the tractor light or the beam that comes in? I was in a field, and everything was pixelated, and you can't make out anything. And that's where I seen it. And it was upset that I seen it. I don't know exactly what it wanted from me, but I've never had an encounter since.
I see. So where the Greys are looking for, I guess, human genes. So what's the objective of these guys?
Yeah. That's later on. I'm going to get into that. They're a very secret race. Go ahead.
I think another thing that they want from us is our energy, because they are lacking and they need energy from us. We have our energy and they feel that they need to draw.
Yeah, that does make sense.
How close were you to that light?
Oh, to the white? Maybe as far as me and Bib, right? That close, yeah.
Close, eh? But he didn't comment to you. He didn't say anything to you.
I thought it was actually my brother, right? But when it turned around, his eyes were like massive, like the eyes wrap right around the back, right? They come up to here and they're slanted and oval.
What did you say to it? Did you like scream or yell?
No. You could be scared, but you should be scared. But when you study aliens and you've read all reports of them, if you were to see them in front of you, I wouldn't be scared at all. I'd be like, hey, hi, how are you? And if it wanted to kill me, I'm like, okay, do it. Show no fear, right? That's the best way to deal with it. Go ahead.
You said they're very tall, right?
Yeah.
You also said they like to go shopping.
Yeah.
Where do they find clothes to fit them?
They're able to find it. They find the clothes. They find the glasses. The government actually supplies them with cars. The Men in Black. Those are government supplied cars, right? So that whenever they need that car, or they're
what kind of cars do they drive?
They usually drive black old cars, like sedans.
So to Ford.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are sightings most prevalent? Like, where in the world are these?
Oh, for the tall whites?
Yeah.
They're the America, amusement parks, certain stores, Russia. They have a base. They have a base in China. So this is the places where they'd be spotted. And they also do abductions too, but not as much as the Greys do. Okay, they live in designated mountain bases approved by government. They have a base in our moon. That's in the dark side of the moon. They love going to shops, casinos, amusement parks under heavy escorts, wearing disguises. Some of you, if any of you have seen a breed, this would be the most likely breed you'd probably had an encounter with. From hearing what I've talked about in this breed, you might even look back 10, 15, 20 years and say, hey, I think I came across one of those. Their planet has a much stronger gravity than our Earth is, so that's why they shuffle. And that's a secret. Supposedly they come from the planet Arcturus, or the Arcturus system. Okay, their powers: 4 fifth-dimensional beings, dematerialized, materialized. That tall white dematerialized.
Oh, in front of you?
Yeah. Well, it came on top of me.
It came on top of you?
Yeah, the tall white came on top of me. I knew that if I would open my eyes, it'd be gone, because they don't like to be seen, right? So I opened my eyes, and boom, the thing was gone. So the weight was lifted. And how did they disappear?
He was angry that you saw him. He came at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
How do they communicate with humans?
They have a telepathic nature. They can talk. Some of them can talk to us. Some of them know how to talk to us. And they have a device that they use to communicate with humans.
What's your definition of a fourth, fifth dimensional?
A fourth dimensional being would be a human with ESP, let's say telepathic abilities. Fifth dimensional, you'd be able to levitate. Six, yeah, that'd be like fourth, fifth, sixth dimension. You'll be able to vanish and appear, right? That type of. If you look at superhero Thor, you know, that's a six-dimensional being. He comes from a Nordic race. Go ahead.
What you were talking about, fear and Russian is genuine, and that's, I think, the energy that they're after. They know that you're going to be scared, and they're drawing off that.
Sure, absolutely. That's very important.
Get scared, maybe because you didn't get
yeah,
scared.
emotions are their food.
Yeah.
Right? When you move into the higher dimensions, okay. Telepathic abilities, extremely quick. Breathing ability, they're able to breathe in our planet. Levitation, go through walls, live for 700, 1,200 years. Their agenda, it's secret, 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 secret. None of us, I could not find any reports on what purpose they have or what they're doing here.
Could they be engineered here on Earth by the Cabal?
That is a possibility that they could be fabricated by us humans. As somebody fabricated us, possibly, this race could have been fabricated, right? In the books and reports, it says the Draconians fabricated them. Go ahead.
I just had a thought that they're back here, or they're us in the future coming back.
Yeah, you can come to that conclusion. When you look at a race, look at yourself as the creator, right? That helps you paint a picture to what their agenda would be. Okay, have direct contact with Russian, Chinese, U.S. governments, alien technology for base space. They have a deal with the governments. Look, we'll give you technology, you give us a safe place to hang out and operate. Usually it's an underground base. Right? Was that?
And a visa.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Use the Earth as a travel spot. The Earth is known as a place where species.
Oh, universe.
Yeah. Come here, stop, shop, and go. This is the perfect shopping area for. It's a known thing even in the Sumerian tablets. They talk as the Earth as a point of stop to shop or metals, materials, gold, and off. Go ahead.
You're mentioning a lot of goods. How about services?
Good point. They offer. I don't know about the services that they offer.
Do they ever buy services?
I'm pretty. They probably do. I'm not sure. That's something I never came across. But they love our jewelry. They love our glasses. They love, our clothes. They probably get their clothes tailor made.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them do, but I mean those men in black suits. Okay. Obtain resources, clothes, study of. They're probably a common thing is study of Earth and human life, abductions of humans. They also abduct humans. I think we covered that. They travel to Mars. They suppose they have a base in Mars as well. Use MIBs to scare individuals from revealing any permanent info. So let's say you happen to see a UFO or you happen to have an experience. You might get a visit from one of these men in blacks. Yeah. The moon agenda. They employ well looked after slaves. So they use slaves. It's known, but their slaves are well fed and well looked after on the moon. Assist governments in building moon bases. So apparently they're helping governments to also establish a base on the moon, right? They operate in the dark side of the moon. Mining materials undisclosed. I tried really hard to find out what they're mining. I don't know what it is, and nobody's written it. Go ahead.
In a lot of abduction stories that I've come across in my research, there are stories of people, abductees claiming that they have been raped by aliens. Do you know anything about
Sure,
this?
sure. Yeah. That's if you go back to a lot of the, for instance, even with the Anunnaki, you'll hear a lot of that. Yeah, the Earth became a base for sexual pleasure. I know it sounds bizarre, but yeah. But you know, they had machines for sexual pleasure. They would attract races would come in, and women were made very attractive and beautiful for that very purpose. And that could be one of the most important aspects of the human race is that our women are so beautiful and attractive. Yeah, for aliens, yeah. I mean, if our women weren't as beautiful or as attractive, you know, our race would be in a much greater problem.
It's actually in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, then affiliates.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But wait, if they're like raping people, you said that like,
Yeah,
they don't have like any genitalia. So what alien race are the ones that are responsible for rape?
Okay.
Which ones should I avoid?
Yeah. Usually when a gray abducts you, when you're abducted by a gray, it's not
Sexual encounter.
but the Greys, actually, I didn't cover this material, but the Greys operate with many types of beings. When you get abducted by a Grey, there's a reptilian, there's human-looking, there's hybrids, there's reptilians. So in the ship, you might, you know, there could be a reptilian that might be able to have sex. Yeah, offer that sex, and it's the emotion that they're after. And the orgasm, it means a lot to them. It's their food, right? Go ahead.
Are they only raping the women, or do they rape the men?
No, they rape the men too. Yeah, they rape men too. They call it rape, but
They also,
go ahead.
what I've heard, they will force humans, like fellow abductees, to have sex with one another.
Yeah,
That's what I've heard.
yeah, that also happens. Yeah, and yeah.
Hey, I'm curious about the interbreeding humans with aliens. Have you heard anything like that?
Oh yeah, they're absolutely. Before anything, when an extraterrestrial race comes here, they'll take a woman and they'll have sex with it to see if a child will be born, and if the child is
Deeper for all that. So
yeah, and
Actually, there have been cases where they would
get a male.
No, they would release the woman. You know, she have no recollection, and then they would come later to extract the fetus.
yeah,
Sometimes they will actually implant an embryo into a woman, and then come back later to retract it.
exactly.
Harvesting children.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to create a hybrid race, right? So
Save the race.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think I'm a little confused because you said that they're not interested in sex. They're created in test tubes and they're cloned.
That's that Pacific type can't.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, they work with different types, right? This race here actually will not. I have not come across any reports that they would want to have sex with humans. They don't see us in that way. Their mining material in the moon is undisclosed. I don't know what that is. Okay. Okay, the Men in Blacks. Let's cover them up because they don't look. The Men in Black look like us. They don't look like that race in particular. So, what they could be is they're tall whites in disguise, organic robotoids, or cyborg employed. They're usually brought in by a scout craft. They're tractor beamed into the area, and they also leave the vehicle in there as well. So the vehicle is sent down, and the Men in Black are sent. And then they go.
The Men in Black are not like men like us, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay, good question. The Men in Black that are from the tall white race, they're not like us. Now, they have government agents that mimic the Men in Black, which are you know, glorified, I guess you could say, human soldiers types, right? Where they, you know, they're humans that act like the Men in Black. But these Men in Black are actually from the aliens themselves. Yeah.
Soldiers of God, right? God has nothing to do with it.
The reason that they're all dressed up is because they're hiding the rest of their bodies and they're wearing masks on their faces to hide their faces.
Exactly, yeah.
They look like men, but they're wearing all those clothes to cover up the rest of them.
Yeah, so they,
But in the hot summer.
yeah, they interrogate the revealer to keep him quiet. I never heard any reports of a Men in Black hurting a human of the alien type.
Do they blank their memory too?
No, the memories aren't blank. So once you have a Men in Black encounter, what it'll be is you'll see a big guy, two big guys. They'll walk like humans, kind of like robots. When you look at their faces, they have huge eyes. They don't blink. They have their hair is kind of attached to their hat. Right? There's rumors that they use chickens. How do you call it? Plucked chickens. Put it over their faces, and that's they color it, spray it, and no, they pluck the feathers out. So chicken skin, and they wrap it around. There's rumors of that. Okay. Okay, so the vehicle is supplied by the government and is stored in time for needs, right? So they have these vehicles since the 50s, and they never age, these vehicles. They don't age like our vehicles. That's what the vehicles they use. Right?
They don't take any new ones, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a Men in Black scene right here.
And he said they came in and they asked for you. And I said, I'm sorry, he's actually not working today. And it seemed like they didn't believe me, so they started to walk around the hotel, and shortly after they went to the tour desk. But he goes, they freaked me out, and I really wanted to tell you that there were these weird guys in here looking for you. So, of course, now I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit freaked out all at the same time. So the first thing I do is I run into my security office, and I rewound the cameras, and sure enough, here comes two gentlemen through the front door looking exactly how he described. Then the next day, I was talking with my tour desk, and one of them asked to talk to me. She came in my office, the same as my bellman, and she said, I heard that you heard that there were some men looking for you. And she said, they asked a few questions about you, and they said strange things that I didn't understand. And they were talking about governments and conspiracies, and none of it made any sense to me. But she goes, they were very, very scary. She said they had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing. Their hair looked like they had a wig on, like it was attached to their hat, like it wasn't even real. And she said, and the scariest thing, their eyes were so big and so blue that they almost hypnotized me a little bit. And she goes, and you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I swear they knew what I was thinking. And she started to cry, and she said one more thing before she left. She said, these men, they didn't blink. Not once did I see them blink.
Where was that?
I don't know the hotel, but it was in America. So.
Yeah, they're tall. He just like
yeah.
Gets a room.
Yeah, that.
Did he see them coming? Was he there just to open the door for them?
Well, he opened the door and then he ran away, right?
Yeah, I saw
so,
him.
Yeah. So these are.
But the doors open up by power, anyways. They don't open up by hand. So basically, it's opened up by, and he just backs away. He said, "Oh, just give him some leeway."
Yeah.
The door automatically opens.
Yeah.
Seems like you spread out.
What's that?
Is that guy, was he like spread out?
No,
I don't know.
Not that spread out. But he's
So.
big.
So that's.
To that guy, he's a lot bigger.
Yeah. So if you were to see these guys' faces, you'd probably have a heart attack. Go ahead.
Are they known to have any emotional qualities?
No, they don't display very much emotions. They're if you were to encounter them, they'd be quite rigid. Their voices would be quite. They wouldn't have that emotional range. It would be very robotic. Yeah. Don't talk about what you saw, or you'll be in big trouble. Right? Okay. Okay. Tall white human future and agenda on Earth. Unknown, secrecy. We don't know what the government pact is. Nobody, I couldn't. Are they friendly, unfriendly? I don't know. My personal experience wasn't the best. Wasn't too friendly, but it wasn't horrible. Right? I'm alive to talk about it. Yeah. There's a report that they lost a war to the Anunnaki race for control of the Earth. And they work for draconian overlords as advanced slaves today.